This is the finale of building Tython in Lego. Yes, we have finally made it to the finale, and it has just been an absolute joy building this whole mock and putting it all together. So in this video, we are going to be going over this whole entire thing, showing you all the little details, all the little things I put into this mock, just from like the minifigures to like the hill, everything. The first episode of this series came out on May 14th, 2022. So now it's been over 4 months since this series started, and it has been quite a ride. I've done a bunch of building, a bunch of planning, a ton of stuff in that amount of time. I truthfully love the way this mock came out, every bit about it, from just like all the things I put in there. Tython is just such a great planet and scene from The Mandalorian, and it's just perfect. Now I will show you the finished Tython mock, and even the little surprise that I put in there. And it's actually not very little, but it's super epic. So let's go down and take a look at it. And here it is, the product of over 4 months of work. I give you Tython in Lego. It's funny how just a little drawing like this can turn into such a large masterpiece. I think I'm going to start right down here and save the best for last. So to start off, we of course have the Mandalorian, the main character in the show, obviously, with his Beskar printing looking absolutely awesome. He is fighting these stormtroopers. We have a mortar trooper right here loading up his mortar, which I guess is some sort of cannon. Some people call him the mustard trooper, but he is a mortar trooper. Here is a stormtrooper. This is actually the Rebel style because I didn't have enough of the realistic style, but he does look fine nonetheless. And this part is just 1/4 of these 4 other quarters that I've made that connect together by Technic pins. You might see this little divide right here. Well, that is where the Technic pins are, and that is how they connect together. So in case I wanted to transport this, I could just break it apart, and then you would just have 4 much more manageable pieces. That is something I wanted to work into this mock from the very beginning, and I think it did come out really good. We do have a very nice rock design right here, which I designed myself. I really do like it. And we even have a little cluster of these plants right there, which I got off the Pick-a-Brick cup. Moving on to the next quarter, the Slave One basically takes up this whole area. It is a giant ship, but it's not exactly minifigure scale because the UCS minifigure scale would just take up the whole mock, and that's certainly not what we want. I worked in a lot of really cool detailing, which you can see right there, which looks absolutely awesome. And something you might have noticed, or maybe not, I hope you didn't, that the whole bottom of the Slave One is actually just black, because I thought there's no point in wasting green pieces down here because that's not even going to be seen. It's just shadow. So I just put the Slave One right on top of that, and you can't even see the black that's under there. And I think that's a really good hack that a lot of people should use if you're running low on pieces, because I certainly was. But right here we have another rock design looking pretty good, and then another stormtrooper running in to fight Boba, Fennec, and Mando. Here is another rock design I made, which I really love, but right next to it we do have the one and only Imperial Troop Transport, which is actually not an official Lego set. Well, it technically was, but now it's an Imperial Troop Transport because it started off as an Imperial Armored Marauder, but I actually transformed it into an Imperial Troop Transport. I did use a tutorial I found online, but I just kind of changed it a lot because it was limited to the pieces that actually came in the set, but I had a lot of extra pieces, which I use right here, and I think it came out really good. We do have a stormtrooper running out of the transport, which works out really great. There's some nice guns, and it is kind of a chubby scale. That's what I like to call it, chubby scale, because it's not really minifigure scale, certainly not, but it's not really like to any scale in particular. It's just kind of chubby. Right behind the Imperial Troop Transport, we do have the sharpshooter Fennec Shand shooting her gun. Unfortunately, she is the one that came in Boba Fett's palace, so I don't have her helmet, so we had to just go with the hairstyle. Then we also have another stormtrooper, just trying to get a lot of them in there just to show that they outnumber the heroes. This is probably the least detailed area of the mock, just because I wanted to put most of my detail up front and then just leave the back as kind of just the back, of course. But we do have Fennec back there. Then we have Boba just blowing up a stormtrooper right in front of him there, kind of starting to get onto the hill there. We are working our way up, but you know that stormtrooper is unfortunately gonna die. And then we have our custom Boba Fett minifigure with the legs from Boba Fett's palace And then everything else is essentially just from regular Return of the Jedi Boba Fett's and stuff like that. Now, without further ado, we will make our way onto probably the most exciting part of this MOC, the hill. And there it is, guys, what you've all been waiting for, the Dark Troopers. Of course, we do have baby Grogu sitting on this kind of seeing stone that we have right there, which looks really great. Really love that piece usage. And then I also use these like transparent blue pieces as kind of like the force that Grogu lifts out of the ground. Of course, I think those are illegal building techniques, putting them between the studs, but we just won't talk about that. But then right above him, he has no idea, but the Dark Troopers are coming down to steal him. I had a bunch of extra translucent pieces, so I decided to go ahead and use them in this little extra detail. And if you are watching this and you haven't seen any of the episodes yet, you are getting some premium exclusive access to these Dark Troopers because they weren't showed in any other episode. I think they came out absolutely awesome and just work absolutely great with this MOC. And it will be a sad sight when I finally have to take this MOC apart. So that is essentially the full overview of this whole MOC. I think I basically covered everything here, from the ships to the minifigures to the little detail that nobody knows about except you. And that is going to wrap this overview off in this whole entire MOC. And that's the finale of building a Lego Tython MOC. This experience of just building a large-scale MOC over this long period of time, over 4 months, has just been absolutely epic. I've enjoyed every bit of it, from the planning to the building to just the minifigures, the ships, everything. I don't see myself doing a large-scale MOC in the very near future, just because doing these types of MOCs is very draining and it takes all your pieces, so you can't do any other MOCs. But I definitely will do another one, probably in quite a while. But they are fun to do nonetheless. And who knows, maybe I'll get inspired from like a new show coming out, like Andor or Ahsoka or something. I just really want to build it. You never really know, so that's why you have to subscribe so you know when all that stuff comes out. But even after watching this full finale, your work is still not done. Be sure to check out the cinematic right here.